Welcome to the Madison Motor Podcast Special Edition Show where I preview the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup. This all gets underway bright and early tomorrow morning. It is going to be a lot of fun. And how I'm going to do this is that I'm going to predict each group. And then after that, I'm actually going to make picks for some of the games for tomorrow, and then obviously go back to the predictions second round, and then the final round and the classifications and all that. So without further ado, here we go. First up is Group A. So we have Angola, DR, the Philippines, and Italy. My pick to win this group is the Dominican Republic. They have the best player in this group in Karl Anthony Towns. Nestor Garcia is the head coach. They also have Lester Quinones of the Warriors. And they have some other decent players overseas. So I'm going to go with DR to win Group A. Runner-up, I'm going with the Philippines. Best player on this roster is Jordan Clarkson of the Utah Jazz. They have some other notable players from the Philippines that are pretty solid. And Chot Reyes, I think, is going to do a good job here with this roster. In third place, I have Italy. Italy usually had a better roster than this. The best player on this roster is it Simone Fontecchio of the Jazz, maybe? There are some other good Italian players on this roster. Gianmarco Pizzecco is the coach. And at the bottom of Group A, I have Angola. Bruno Fernando is on this team from the Hawks. That's the most notable player on that squad. So Group B consists of South Sudan, Serbia, China, and Puerto Rico. And my pick to win this group is Serbia. Best player on this team is probably Bogdan Bogdanovic of the Hawks. Good mix of players. Nikola Jovic of the Heat is on this team. Nikola Jokic, unfortunately, is not playing, which is a big loss for the World Cup, or else Serbia could have done some serious damage in this tournament, I feel. Second, I have South Sudan. Interesting mix of guys. Wendell Gabriel of the Lakers is on this team. Carlik Jones of the Bulls. Mariel Shayok of the Celtics organization. He plays for the Maine Celtics. The head coach is Royal Ivy. In third, I have China. Best player on this team is Kyle Anderson of the Timberwolves. And then, the Chinese team isn't as strong as it's been in years past. And then in fourth, I have Puerto Rico. Interesting group of players from Puerto Rico. Nelson Colon's the coach. Ethan Thompson of the Windy City Bulls is on this team. Group C consists of U.S., Jordan, Greece, New Zealand. And, of course, I have the United States winning Group C. I mean, it's a devastating thing if they don't. This is a loaded roster. Steve Kerr's the coach. Eric Spoelstra's an assistant coach. Ty Lue's an assistant. Mark Few's an assistant from Gonzaga. You have the two net guys, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson's the two net guys, and Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson. The best guy on this team is probably Anthony Edwards, who's been amazing in the showcase games. Tyrese Halliburton might be the second best player on this team, or you could argue Brandon Ingram. You could even argue Jalen Brunson for that. Austin Reeves, great addition to this team. Walker Kessler's a really good center. This team's absolutely loaded. You have Bobby Portis, who's a veteran. Paulo Banchero's on this team. This team is loaded, and they're ready to dominate. In second in this group, I have Greece. Thanasis is playing, but not Giannis, which stinks that Giannis isn't playing. But at least we have Thanasis. This is his time to shine here. In third, I have New Zealand. There's some interesting players from New Zealand on this team that are on some of their professional clubs. Finn Delaney and Isaiah Lavafa of the New Zealand Breakers is two guys on the team that are going to be relied on. And at the bottom of the group, I have Jordan. Very weak team. One notable name on here is former net Rondé Hollis Jefferson. So that's interesting. Group D consists of Egypt, Mexico, Montenegro, and Lithuania. I have winning this group is Lithuania. Interesting team. Jonas Valanciunas is the biggest name on the team. And Mindaugas Kuzminskas of AEK Athens, he used to play on the Knicks. He's on this team as well. So this Lithuanian team might actually be okay. Second, I have Montenegro. Best player on this team is Nikola Vucevic of the Bulls. It was either them or Lithuania I had winning this group. It was a tough call. But they're easily, I think, the best two rosters in this group. Egypt I have in third. Not that great of a team. Patrick Gardner of Marist is on this team. So that's interesting. And then I have Mexico in fourth in this group. Nobody really of note on this team that we know from the NBA. There's no NBA players or G League players even on that roster. Okay, Group E consists of Germany, Finland, Australia, Japan. Interesting group, I think. I have winning this group Australia. I think Australia has a really nice roster. The best player on this team, I think, is OKC's Josh Giddey. Dyson Daniels is on this team. Matisse Thybulle's on this team. Patty Mills, Josh Green, Joe Ingles, Dante Exum, Jack White. So this is an interesting group of players, and I think they are a sleeper to potentially win this tournament. In second, I have Germany in this group. The Wagner brothers are on this team, which is fun. Gordon Herbert's the head coach. Dennis Schroeder's on this team, which is interesting. Daniel Theis. So this is actually a better team that I've given credit for it. Isaac Bonga of Bayern Munich is on this team. A couple Bayern Munich guys are on this team. Group E, third place, I have Finland. There's a couple college players on this team, but the biggest name here is Lauri Markkanen. It's just unfortunate that I do not have Lauri Markkanen into the next round. So apologies to Lauri Markkanen. Mira Little of Baylor, Olivier Nakamura of Tennessee are on this team. And then in the basement of the group, I have Japan. A couple of NBA guys. Yuta Watanabe of the Suns is on this team. We have Kaisi Tuminaga of Nebraska on this team as well. So maybe Japan's a little better than given credit for. Okay, Group F consists of Slovenia, Cape Verde, Georgia, and Venezuela. I have winning the group Slovenia, of course. One of the best 5 basketball players in the world is on this team in Luka Doncic. You can't doubt Luka. I think he's going to put this team on his back in this tournament. And that's all you need to know about that team. In second, I have Georgia. A couple of interesting names on here. Goga Bitadze of the Magic. Sandro Mamukelashvili of the Spurs, formerly of Seton Hall, are two interesting names on that roster. Third, I have Venezuela. The Venezuela team I don't think is very good. That's a weak team. And at the bottom, I have Cape Verde. Notable player on here, Shane DeRosa of Providence. All right, Group G consists of Iran, Spain, Ivory Coast, Brazil. I have winning this group Spain. Spain's had better rosters in the past. Santi Aldama of the Grizzlies and Usman Garuba of the Thunder on this team. And then Juan Hernan Gomez is probably the best player on this team. Sergio Llull is still there. That's insane. And Rudy Fernandez is still there. So maybe... And Willie Hernan Gomez. So better roster than given credit for. But no Gasol brothers. Which stinks. So Spain's going to be a tough out. Second, I have Brazil. Interesting roster. Guy Santos of the Santa Cruz Warriors is on this team. And Cristiano Felicio is on this team too. Third, I have Iran. This roster is not very good. And in the bottom, I have Ivory Coast. Pick your poison between those two, but I think Iran beats out Ivory Coast. Because Iran. I like their coach, Hakan Deemer. I think he has more experience in this than Ivory Coast's coach. And Group H consists of Canada, Latvia, Lebanon, and France. I have Canada winning the group. I think Canada's team is very loaded, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, R.J. Barrett, Dylan Brooks, Zach Edey, Kelly Olynyk, Lou Dort, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That's a decent team. And I think SGA and Barrett are going to do a good job carrying this team. In second, I have France. I think the France team's pretty good, led by Rudy Gobert. And then they have two NBA veterans in there, and Evan Fournier and Nick Batum. So I think France will be a tough out. In third, I have Latvia. Some interesting names on here. Rodions Carusis of Strasbourg. He used to be on the Nets. The Bertans brothers, Davies and Darius. So that's pretty interesting. And no Porzingis in FIBA, or else maybe that team would have been more interesting. And in fourth, I have Lebanon. I don't think Lebanon's very good. And they have a lot of guys from Al Rayadi and Dynamo Lebanon and such. All right. So before we get into the second round, we are going to do 17 through 32 classification. All right, so Group M would be who I'm finishing in the bottom two of each Group A and Group B, which would be Angola, China, Italy, Puerto Rico. So in first, I'm going to go with Italy. Second, China. Third, Puerto Rico. And fourth, Angola. Group N classification. So the bottom two in Group C and Group D, which in my predictions, it would be Egypt, Jordan, Mexico, and New Zealand. So Group N, I have Egypt winning the group. Coming second, New Zealand. Third, Mexico. Fourth, Jordan. Group O, which is the bottom two in Group E, and Group F, which would be Cape Verde, Finland, Japan, Venezuela. So I have winning that group. Or wait a minute. I messed up there. So, yeah. All right. So, I would have winning that group. We'll do Finland, of course, with Markkanen. Second would be Japan or Venezuela. That's a tough one. Go with Japan for second there, and then third Venezuela, and fourth would be Cape Verde. And then Group P, which is the bottom two in each groups, G and H, which would be Iran, Ivory Coast, Latvia, Lebanon. All right, so that would have Latvia winning Group P, 2 Iran, 3 Ivory Coast, 4th Lebanon. All right, second round. So Group I is kind of working backwards, but I just want to do 17 through 32 out of the way first. So Group I is the top two and 8, or Group A and Group B. So I'm going to have DR winning this group. Again, Karl-Anthony Towns, best player. Second, Serbia. Third, Philippines. Fourth, South Sudan. Group J, top two finishers in Group C and Group D. My pick to win Group J would be USA, of course. Greece second with Thanasis. Third, Lithuania with that group of players. And fourth, Montenegro. Group K, top two finishers of Group E and Group F. First, I'm going to go with Luka and Slovenia. Second, Australia with Josh Giddey. Third, Germany. And fourth, Georgia. Group L, top two finishers in Groups G and H. First place, we're going to go with Canada with SGA and Barrett. Second, France with that group with Gobert. Third, Spain. And fourth, Brazil. Alrighty, so before we go to the quarterfinals, we're going to do the 5 through 8 classification. So it would be the 5 through 8 classification. We'll actually hold off on that. We'll do the quarterfinals first. So the quarterfinals, it would go first place Group I against second place Group J, which would be DR against Greece. I picked DR over Greece. Karl-Anthony Towns, best guy on the court. First place in Group K and second place in Group L, which would be Slovenia and France. We'll go Slovenia over France with Luka leading the way. First place in Group J, WS against second place in Group I would be Serbia. We'll go with the United States there. And then first place in Group L and second place in Group K, which would be Canada and the United States. Canada and Australia. And then Canada over Australia. And then 5 through 8 classifications, just coincidental that the second round teams I have in 5 through 8. So this would be Greece against France, second Group J, second Group L. But I would take France over Greece because France has a better roster. And then second place in Group I, Serbia against second place, and Group K, Australia will pick Australia over Serbia. Australia, deeper roster led by Josh Giddey. Seventh place game, 2I Serbia, 2J Greece. We're going to go with Greece over Serbia, and Thanasis will have a moment. Fifth place, second in Group K, Australia, and second in Group L, France. I think Australia over France, but I think that's going to be a good fifth place game. And now the semifinals. First place in Group I, Dominican Republic, against first place in Group K, Slovenia. We'll go Slovenia over DR because Luka will be the best guy on the court. And then first place in Group J, USA, against first place in Group L, Canada. I think this is the de facto final. The winner of this game will win it all. And I just think U.S. is a better team, and they'll beat Canada. Third place game, DR against Canada. I'm going to go with Canada over DR. Canada's just a better roster. And then the final would be USA against Slovenia. So U.S. against Luka would be a lot of fun. And I think that Luka will keep Slovenia, hanging single-handedly because he's Luka Doncic. But USA should win, hands down, over Slovenia. And I don't know if they'll have an MVP of this tournament. If there is, I'm going to pick Anthony Edwards. All right, so there you have it for the FIBA World Cup prediction. So before I finish the podcast, I'm going to pick the games for tomorrow, and I'm going to see if there's betting odds for them. So let's see here. Yes, FIBA World Cup. All right, 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, Finland, Australia. Group E. Australia is giving 10.5 totals, 168.5. I'll lay the 10.5 with Australia. I think they're going to win by double digits in that game. Group A, Angola and Italy. Italy's giving a whopping 21.5, total 156.5. That's a lot of points. Let's go with the over. That's a low total. 445, Mexico against Montenegro. Montenegro's giving 8.5, totals 156.5. That's a low total. I'll take the over. 5:15 this morning, or tomorrow morning, you have Latvia and Lebanon. Latvia's giving 16.5. Total is 162.5. That's another one where I like the over. So I'm going to do the ones between 8 and 9:30 now, just in case the timing of the podcast recording is after these games are played. I know it will be posted after these games are played, so that's why I'll do the last four now. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Dominican Republic and the Philippines. DR's giving 11.5, totals 173.5. I'll lay the points with DR against the Philippines. So that's obviously Group A. Latvia and Lebanon is Group H. Mexico, Montenegro is Group D. So after that's Germany, Japan, that is Group E. Germany's giving 19.5, totals 171.5. That's a lot of points for Germany to be giving. I'm going to take the under. That's a high total. Egypt and Lithuania, that is Group D. Lithuania is giving a whopping 20.5, totals 157.5. I'll take the over. That's a low total. And a good one tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Canada, France. France is favored by 1.5. Totals 167.5. Give me Canada plus 1.5 and plus 102 outright. I think Canada's a better team than France. I'm surprised France is favored here. I think Canada's better. So give me Canada plus 1.5 and plus 102 outright. And that is obviously Group H. All right, so there you have it for FIBA World Cup games. Yeah, and Anthony Edwards is a pretty big favorite, plus 280 for FIBA World Cup MVP. All right, so value bets that I'll give out. Luka Doncic for FIBA World Cup MVP, 20-1. I like that a lot. Giddy's a good one at 16-1, but I like Luka at 20-1 because I think he'll make the final. And you could just hedge it in the final and bet on U.S. All right, Group A, Italy's the favorite at minus 146, DR's plus 136, Philippines 12-1, Angola 100-1, DR plus 136. And in Group A, Exacta, DR Italy's plus 165. But I have DR Philippines. That's plus 950. I like that a lot. So there's some Exactas. There's some good group props out there. And the Philippines plus 260 to finish in the top two of Group A. All right, so the Group B winner, Serbia is a big favorite at minus 1,400. And everybody else is higher than 13-1 or higher. So the Group B Exacta, Serbia South Sudan, is plus 160. All right, the Group C, U.S. is minus 5,000. Greece is 13-1. Jordan, New Zealand, each 100-1. And then U.S. Greece is minus 850. So there's no value on anything in Group C. All right, Group D, the favorites Lithuania minus 340, Montenegro plus 310, Mexico 13-1, Egypt 100-1. So Group D Exacta, Lithuania and Montenegro is minus 135. So Group E, Australia is only minus 166, Germany's plus 162, Finland's 13-1, Japan's 80. Group E Exacta, Australia, Germany is minus 105. I like that. Group F, Slovenia's favored minus 1,600. That's Luka. Georgia's 8-1. Cape Verde 70 and Venezuela 80. Slovenia, Georgia 1-2 is minus 270. The Group G winner, I picked Spain to win the group. They're minus 400. Brazil's 3-1. Iran's 80. And so is Cape Verde. Spain, Brazil, Group G Exacta's minus 270. There's no value with some of these. But I do like DR Philippines plus 950, Group A, Exacta. Group H winner, Canada is minus 113, France is minus 106, Latvia 30, and Lebanon's 100. That's where Canada's favored to win Group H, but they're not favored to beat France tomorrow. That makes sense of that. And then Canada, France top two each way is minus 105. So that's that for like group play and whatnot. And the FIBA World Cup winner value pick. U.S. is obviously favored minus 145. Canada's 850. Australia is a good value pick at 10-1. Slovenia 23-1 would be my value pick. So that at 23-1 and Luka at 20-1 for FIBA MVP would be my two value picks. And then Australia, obviously, at 10-1 is a good value pick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two value picks. FIBA World Cup MVP value pick. I'm going to pick Luka Doncic at 20-1. So like only a tenth of a unit on it. And then I'm going to lay a fifth of a unit on Australia at 10-1 to win the FIBA World Cup. So those are my two value picks that I like. All right, so there you have it for the 2023 FIBA World Cup preview show, and I'll be back tomorrow with my regular show and the college football season prediction. So enjoy.